Hi, so I am starting off my agricultural neighborhood. This is my first meeting that I am saying I'm giving birth to this community. So I'm getting pregnant today. Today is Mother's Day. So I thought it would be fitting to start off on Mother's Day, Mother Nature. I'm gonna give birth. This behind me is just kind of a glimpse of the community that I'm trying to build. Close houses together, community.
Naya, I need some disposable gloves, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that part out. Pause this.
That's okay.
Okay, so I just completed a 10-hour course called Launching Your Community, and it was given by the Co-Housing Institute. They're an educational component of the Foundation for Intentional Community and cohousing.org. So you know what my vision is. I put that in I made a video about that. It's about 20 minutes long. So you already know what my video is. I sent you, my vision is, I sent a video of the commons on YouTube. So you kind of get an understanding of what a common area is. And looking around, I see a lot of construction and they have the commons, the common area. And then when I think back, even in college, we had a common area. It's like where everybody gathers. You have your own room you go to, but when you feel like being social, you come to the common area. So I am looking for some other dreamers and people that are doers. Having a community helps us eliminate the loneliness epidemic that that has intensified during the pandemic. So the pandemic intensified the need for people to communicate. There are some people that I met a few weeks ago, and they said they hadn't been out in 2 years because of the pandemic and the scare and people staying in. And I understand that. But some people are looking for different housing opportunities. So what I'm looking for is 8 to 10 people who want to be founders in a venture. The venture is developing a village, a community, um, commune, you want to call it, community. We would form an LLC, purchase the land. Once we get it, we'll subdivide it and sell portions so that people can become homeowners. So let's talk money, because you're going to say, well, how much is this going to cost? How much land you want? You know, all those questions. Um, so of course, to become a homeowner, you're going to have to get a mortgage. Now, there are different ways of getting a mortgage. You're thinking of traditional, getting a mortgage, FHA. There's about 25 different ways to get a mortgage. You will need a little bit of money. I'm saying a minimum of $10,000 will be needed once the project is officially established. So you can save that up and, $1,000 here, 2,000 there. It doesn't have to come all at one time. And it would be deposited into an account to get the project going. Once we get some land, we're going to need to get it surveyed, sampled, um, you know, plans drawn out, and all that takes money. So now is the time to get your credit cleaned up, pay your bills down, and save your money. So I mentioned about all the different ways of getting money. Let me just name some of them. We got conventional, USDA. We're trying to get something in rural Houston, so USDA loan would work. There's owner finance, there's tax sale, there's foreclosure, there's loan assumption. There are some people that have loans that they can just assume it. We can assume it and pay it off and then pay down from that. There's crowdfunding. We didn't have this years ago. There's angel investors, real estate investment groups called REITs, rent to own, purchase from the developer, land grants, home equity conversion mortgage, like reverse mortgages, short sales, inherited from family and transferred, SBA loans, partnerships, auctions. Cash, of course, cash is always king. Land contract or contract for deed. Installment sale. Land bank. Farm credit institution. Farm transition programs. Federation of Southern Cooperatives. Co-housing institute, and there are others. So one of the others is the Live Off the Grid. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, where is it? This one is called liveoffthegriddream.com. They have a roadmap with decision trees to show you how to get land and how to build your dream life on it. So there are different things you can do on it. It can be a homestead, it could be rental income, it could be a retreat center, it could be a regenerative farm or community, or all of the above. It can be whatever you want it to be. They have done these in the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, Costa Rica, Mexico, Portugal, Spain, South Africa, Jamaica, and more. So the website to this is livingtheoffgriddream.com. So let me just show you the roadmap. I did purchase this course. As you can see here, I am only 33% in module 1. So I just started, I just got this yesterday. So this is the roadmap here. I downloaded it, but I'm going to have him explain to you what it is.
Good morning. This probably might not be morning for you, but it's morning for me. So this is the ultimate roadmap. This is basically a giant decision tree, and I want to go over it with you really quick, so you kind of just get used to it, and then you can dive into it. So these little gray boxes, these are explainers and tips. You know, I share some of our resources in there. You know, some of our, like for example, our solar supplier, and you know, just definitions of certain things. You know, where else to find other resources and things like that. So hopefully that's of value to you. Just some tips and things that we've learned the hard way along the way as well. So first I want to go over the sections of this. So, you know, at first it comes into, you know, where you start, and then getting into, you know, finding land and the process of knowing which way to get land. You know, for example, what type of mortgage, or are you doing an owner financing deal, and things of that sort, and then how you structure that corporately, or like legally, I should say. Like, do you put your name on title? Do you put it in a holdings company, etc., and how to make those decisions, and then from there into site design and why that's so important, and then you know, kind of going through what type of economic engine that you would want on the property. So that's to be financially self-sufficient. And the basically economic engine just means income generation. So the difference between just a kind of a regular like business or generating income on the property and what we refer to as an economic engine is that an engine runs while you're not there. So we are trying to make you know, make these decisions to be financially self-sufficient in an almost passive way. So that's the key differentiator between just regular income and other businesses and things like that, and what we refer to as an economic engine. So that could be, you know, it could be short-term rentals, it could be retreat center, it could be different types of farming, it could be educational workshops, it could be, you know, whatever. So I just put some general examples here of what we see people using, and then you can put any of your other ideas into this as well. And then, you know, whether or not you should be, you know, incorporating to run the numbers through, like run the income through a separate entity. and then into raising funds once you're on the land, raising funds to actually now that you've decided on the type of economic engine that you're moving towards, then you can start to figure out, okay, do I have the funds to build this? How do I raise the funds to do that? And we'll dive into this in a minute as an example. But then once you have the funds, then we start with the infrastructure build. So how to decide on, your power needs, what type of power you're going to be using, and then down into well, it's first water, yeah, like what type of water will you be, what options do you have there, how to decide on that, and then types of power, and then down into septic and waste management, and then down into internet needs and things of that sort. And then from there, now you have the basic infrastructure set up, and then you're ready to build out the rest of your grand vision. So then it goes through, okay, how do you want to do that? Do you want to do that with modular dwellings? Do you like to build things and want to learn that, or do you not? Or do you want help, and what type of help do you want? And then it helps you make those decisions, and plot that path for yourself. And then it's time to launch the economic engine. And this section here is making sure, on the right, is making sure that you have enough people that want to take your offer. Meaning, if you're farming and you are selling produce or something, are people coming and buying that? Or are you doing short-term rentals? Are people booking those stays? That kind of thing. So first we make sure that that's working. And then this section on the right is really about turning that into nearly passive income and getting the help that you would need long-term, and systemizing that so it's almost passive for you. And then at the bottom, then it's really just, we can see this line here that goes all the way, down across here, and then all the way up, back up here. So that is basically, at this point, at the very bottom, you would be at a point where you own land, you have nearly passive income generated on the land, you have all the basic infrastructure and stuff on it, and then you can make a choice. Do you feel, financially secure, and you have, what you need to move forward, or just chill out so you could sit there and retire, or do whatever it is that you want to do? Or if you want to continue building and growing, quicker or whatever, then you basically come all the way back up to the top, and then you pick your next priority, which I'll talk about in a minute. So you pick your next priority up here, and then you would continue through this entire process and do it all over again, and build it, systemize it, and then come back up and then do the next one. So for example, maybe you start with getting some, like what our journey was, is we started with short-term rentals, and then we strategically reinvested that, and then we came, we did this whole process, we got it all set up, and then we got back to the bottom, or sorry, then we came back up. And after our short-term rentals were done, then we started doing the farming. So then, now we're systemizing the farming, and then when that's done, we'll come back up, we'll pick the next priority, and then we'll do that, and so on and so forth. And that's how we've been able to do this. We've been able to essentially use these strategies and systems to surpass our neighbors that have been doing this for 30 years, and we've kind of done more than them in about 3 years. So it works, and it makes things a lot quicker. So there's some things that this does not include, because this is for to help you plot your path so you know the next step. But I can't put every single detail in here, obviously. Otherwise, this thing would be probably 1,000 times the size. So for example, like finding suitable land and using the land checklist to do that. Well, that is more of a checklist, and there's lots of learning to go through to understand, what to look for and what is going to be land that's suitable for you. So that's not really suitable for this chart, but you can get that elsewhere, and we offer that. And then another example would be, the cost benefit analysis. So what is a cost benefit analysis? There's an explainer here, but it is essentially a method of comparing, for example, the time and effort and money that you put into something versus what you get out of it. And it's kind of balancing and comparing those things for the different options that you're considering. You can also compare things to make it aligned with your lifestyle. So for example, some things might be way more difficult to to automate if you're looking for passive income, or other things might take years while some things might take months. So you can start to figure out how those things align with you and your plan and what your biggest desires are or goals. So that this is a tool that we use quite a bit. It's explained in detail in our course, but if you wanted to, you could Google cost benefit analysis and try to do that on your own. Yeah, so just as an example of this, so yeah, so let's say you're on property and you've managed to get into the land, but now you don't have the money to, or you're standing there like, okay, what do I have the money to build out the property? Now that you'd have a site plan and all of that stuff, and you're ready to start building some infrastructure. So do you have the money to do it? Yes, you do. Great. You're ready to go right into the infrastructure section. Do you not have the money? No. So then it gets into, okay, how do we figure out a way to get the money? So, are you in a treat area? Yes, you could get quotes from logging companies to log a fire break and any building sites and generate capital. And you could get quotes from a carbon bank and pull carbon credits to generate capital. If you're not in a treat area, then carbon bank is still an option. And then also, so these are a few different options. Do you want to trade equity for time, equity for speed to get the money up front? Meaning, do you want to give somebody ownership, give some of your ownership to somebody else in order to take an investment on to be able to speed up this process and make it happen a lot faster? If you do not want to do that, then you could crowdfund, because you don't need to give any equity for that. And then if you did want to do that, then you could go pitch investors. And then from there, maybe, a lot of people, if you go out there and you just keep pitching and pitching and you finding people to talk to, and that's great, you get the word out there, you're good to go, you get an investor, and there you go, you got the money. If you do that, but then you can't find an investor, then what do you do? Well, then you could crowdfund. And crowdfunding is actually a really amazing way to get in contact with investors. Every single time I've ran a crowdfunding campaign, I've gotten between 3 and 5 investors coming to me. So it's a great way, like a magnet, to attract them to you instead of you having to go out and search. So yeah, that's one strategy that I've always used. So crowdfunding isn't just to raise the money, it's actually to raise awareness is the more powerful thing. For example, in one crowdfunding campaign that I've done previously, I raised $30,000 on the crowdfunding campaign, but then $200,000 through an investor. And then in our last one, we did $60,000 in the crowdfunding campaign, but $350,000 through an investor, about $60,000 worth of donations. We were getting equipment, we got a teepee, a bell tent, a sauna, all of our kitchen appliances, or not all, but most of our kitchen appliances, building materials, etc. Yeah, lots of volunteers, all sorts of stuff. So there's way more benefits to it than that, and then other options over here. And so yeah, that's basically how you'd use it. And then just checking out the tips and stuff is good. There's little explainers and there's tips of the things that we've kind of learned the hard way along the way, and we give tips to some of our our solar supplier and like things like that hopefully give you some more value while you go through this. So I will oh, by the way, this is the first draft, so this is just what I have created. Now in the future, depending on when you're watching this video, we may send this into a designer and get them to beautify it and just make it look pretty and stuff. So if the one below looks a little bit different, that's why. But it's the same stuff. So yeah, I really hope this is valuable for you. You could draw a line through all of these decisions to help you plot your path and then know the next steps to take. However, and it should, give you a lot of options and things that you weren't really aware of, kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm excited about this, and I think that's it. So, yeah, enjoy. I hope it's really valuable for you.
Okay, so that was the beginning, and I'll show you what it looks like, the one I downloaded. It looks like that. And it has a lot of things on the side explaining different options. So right now where we are is creating the plan. So I need to know what your vision is and see if it aligns with my vision and if we're going to do this together or not. So who's that joined iPhone 13?
It doesn't show up me, Angela.
No, hey Ange,
Hey,
it just says iPhone 13.
girl, switch cell plans, so no telling what's going on.
Oh, that's okay. So you caught the tail end of him explaining all of this graphic, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. Let's see. Girl. If I knew technology, I'd be really dangerous.